And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review. This is Pendergast from the Alliance. Woo! The Alliance, Vader's Fist. Now, Pendergast has got things under wraps. He's doing a great job. He's just got some tweaks that he's looking for. Basically, he wants me to kind of look over his roster and see if there's any particular character he's overlooking, whether he should do an Empire team, and what's his first Zeta. And he does use the Sith, as you can see with Darth Nihilus. And so there's definitely a lot of options as far as that goes. By the way, Pendergast is one of two of my patrons who is actually from my hometown, which we've probably ran into each other because we eat at the same Chipotle all the time. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yes, Pendergast is one of two, which I was blown away. We were talking in Discord and they're like, yeah, I've been there. Oh my gosh, we live there. So it's really, really crazy to know that out there in the world of international people watching my stuff, that two of my viewers and actual patrons who support me financially are from my hometown. So pretty excited that I get to do Pendergast's roster review today. Now, as far as doing an Empire team, I'm going to say unequivocally, yes, yes, yes. That is very important for a lot of reasons. Not only is the Empire on the rise, there's been a ton of reworks and there's future reworks in the making, but they are an excellent team for many of the events that they're going to put out, that they have put out, and that they continue to put out. So an Empire team is great. For the first Zeta, there's 3 Sith I would suggest. And I'm sure you're not looking for 3 suggestions, you're looking for 1. So I'm going to try to lean you in. You're doing a Darth Nihilus-led team, and you already have Darth Nihilus completely maxed out as far as the Zetas. So he's not a concern. But if you decide to switch to Darth Maul as a lead, which is an interesting leader for sure, and he's not dead yet, and contrary to what everyone thinks, you definitely would want a Zeta Maul's ability. So my suggestion is either Darth Maul or Savage. Now, Savage has an amazing unique, and he's one of my favorite Sith attackers. I would highly recommend his Zeta as well. Maul's Zeta is a leadership ability, whereas Savage is a unique. So it can be utilized in any of the team compositions, but more specifically for a Darth Nihilus-led team. So I would probably lean, because of how you have your team built, I would lean towards Savage Opress and his unique ability. Anytime you can Zeta a unique, it makes it more usable than a leadership, because a leadership Zeta forces you into using that particular character as the leader. So that would be my suggestion, Maul or Savage, but probably leaning towards Savage. I know some people saying, why wouldn't you suggest Count Dooku? And it's because it's pointless. It's a moot point underneath a Darth Nihilus-led team. So that's why I wouldn't suggest that. As far as your arena team, just kind of glancing at it, obviously Dooku under Darth Nihilus is an awesome combination. I would probably actually not use Sith Trooper as the tank. I would probably put Emperor Palpatine in there, because Sith Trooper, while he's uber durable and tanky and he constantly shoots back, if he gets stunned or something like that, which he's a bit susceptible to stuns with a low tenacity, he just sits there and just takes a bunch of damage. So he's really susceptible to the stuns or daze and all those other things. And so I would probably put something a little more offensive in this team. And then you have a couple of clones, and that's kind of weird since you have all of your Sith. I would have Sith Assassin and Savage on this team for sure. So what you've got to do to make this really, really overpowered is have Darth Nihilus, Count Dooku, Emperor Palpatine, and there's more than enough offense. But then on top of that, have Sith Assassin and Savage. What's going to happen is Sith is your squishiest, but Sith is going to put herself in stealth. She's going to speed the whole team up, and Savage and her are going to be able to 2-hit combo people. Count Dooku keeps himself alive. Darth Nihilus is tanky as all get up, and the only character that's going to be a liability is Emperor Palpatine, but his shock and his stun is amazing. So if you're going to do this, I would do all 5 Sith, and then you could switch out Sith Trooper and Emperor Palpatine back and forth and see which one you feel is more durable and which one is more defensive. Put them in and see which one. But I would do Darth Nihilus, Savage, Sith Assassin, Count Dooku, and then either Sith Trooper or Emperor Palpatine for your team. Now let's look at your Empire. As far as your Empire goes, there's a bunch of characters that you're going to want to develop and work on. And since you're just open to an Empire team and who should you develop, I'm going to go through the ones that I feel like are most important. First is Death Trooper. Death Trooper is a standalone character, meaning you do not need to have him in Empire. You can use him in any team. He is one of the better troopers in the game. I would say one of the top 3 troopers inside of the game. So definitely would want to continue to develop Death Trooper. Obviously, Shore Trooper, one of the best tanks in the game, but definitely in the top when it comes to the Empire for tanks. He also works very, very well in the Imperial Trooper and Empire type teams, and so I would definitely continue to develop Shore Trooper. It looks like you've kind of started with him, but kind of left him to the side a little bit. The other 2 in here that I would tell you that would be really, really fun to focus on is Director Krennic. And the reason for that is he makes an excellent lead for an Empire team with Imperial troopers behind him. It's a very heavy-hitting team that's very durable and gains through him and Veer's 20% protection back because of 2 different abilities that the 2 of them have, which is amazing to get 20% protection back. So Director Krennic would definitely be one I'd work on. And the last in here, which you haven't worked on really, is General Veers. Now, take these all with a grain of salt. These are the ones that I think would be the best for Empire for all the reworks that have recently happened. General Veers, not as a leader, but as just another character to be on the team. He's wonderful. His ruthless assault is absolutely insane, especially when paired with all the others. So General Veers, I would definitely develop. Director Krennic, and then of course you finish your Shore Trooper and your Death Trooper. As far as the other 3, you've got a couple of really nice Empire, you know, with Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, and TIE Fighter. So I would just finish it off with those 4 I mentioned. And then the last 3, I mean, I've got a top 7 list for you to develop, but the last 3 is going to come out of your Rebels. And I would, obviously you want to kind of finish Biggs and Wedge. They're not even on my list for you, but I would definitely, you put so much work into them. They're 7-star Gear 8. It's a shame if you don't complete them. At least get them to Gear 10 to make them more viable. But in this, you have a 4-star Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus, and they're at Gear 5 and 6. You definitely, these are the 2 top Rebels in the game, period. They're the top 2 Rebels in the game. You need to slap them in your favorites and work on them actively. Make sure that you get them up there. You can plug Chirrut and Baze into any team, and they're going to make that team better. So this is craziness to have them in blue. You got to get them in purple, get them up in gear. The last one out of this section is R2-D2. It looks like you got him unlocked at 7-star, so that's excellent. And Gear 8, you're going to want to get him higher, though. He's definitely much better than he initially thought. All of us that did theory crafting on him and checked him out a little bit thought he was good, not great, but that is an inaccurate statement. He works very well in many different team compositions, and he's definitely got a place long-term in the game, so you definitely want to finish gearing up R2-D2, and his gearing isn't the worst. I actually found his gearing to be a bit redundant, but not too bad in comparison to some of the others. And then the last, which isn't on this list and is not part of the top 7, would be General Kenobi. I know you don't have him yet, but I definitely hope your team is able to unlock him for you, because General Kenobi is one of the best, if not the best, tanks in the game, and he's the best Jedi in the game, hands down. And with Jedi Knight Anakin already pretty high, and Grandmaster Yoda, and you've got Qui-Gon Jinn, you've just got the makings of a very amazing Jedi team. And for some uniqueness in the arena, and so you're not doing what everybody else is doing, you could always do a Jedi team. I'm doing a Jedi team right now. It's just really, really fun to run something different than what everybody else is running. So, you know, there's now 3 of us in the top 10 running Jedi, so it's funny. It only took, you know, one person, and all of a sudden everybody kind of jumps on the bandwagon. But definitely would want to do that. So that's what I would say. Obviously, your Empire, you develop them. Get your Death Trooper, Shore Trooper, Director Krennic and Veers up. Get your Chirrut, Baze, and R2 up. Get your General Kenobi unlocked for sure. On your arena squad, switch out your clones for some Sith, and then for Sith Trooper and Emperor Palpatine, swap them back and forth. And then for your first Zeta, Maul or Savage because of this team, but I'm probably leaning towards Savage since you're running a Darth Nihilus-led team. That's what I've got for you, Pendergast. Again, it was good. Hopefully we'll run into each other in our local hometown sometime soon. As always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and keep your gaming on. Warrior. out.